Right now, without realizing it, someone is manipulating you. Not a villain, not a con artist. It could be an app on your phone, a store you walked into this morning, a conversation you had at work, even a person you trust. Dark psychology isn't something that only happens in movies. It's happening to you every single day in ways so subtle you'd never notice. Until now. In this video, we're going to break down 7 real psychological tricks being used on you right now, where they come from, how they work, and most importantly, how to recognize them before they work on you. By the end of this, you'll never see the world quite the same way again. Trick 1, the scarcity trap. Have you ever bought something simply because it said, "Only 2 left in stock"? That's the scarcity trap, and it's one of the oldest manipulation tools in existence. Your brain is wired to assign more value to things that are rare or disappearing. It's called scarcity bias, and it evolved because resources like food and shelter were genuinely limited for our ancestors. Today, marketers weaponize it constantly. Countdown timers on websites, limited time offers, flash sales that somehow happen every week. None of it is accidental. Every element is designed to trigger your fear of missing out before your logic kicks in. The fix? Pause before you act. If something is truly valuable, it will still be valuable tomorrow. Urgency that disappears overnight was never real to begin with. Trick 2, anchoring. Walk into any store and you'll see a price crossed out with a lower price next to it. Was $200. Now, $80. Your brain immediately thinks, what a deal. But here's the truth. The $200 price may have never been real. It was placed there specifically to make $80 feel cheap by comparison. This is called anchoring, the psychological tendency to rely heavily on the first piece of information you receive. Once your brain locks onto that anchor number, everything else is judged relative to it. Negotiators use it. Salespeople use it. Even your boss uses it when they offer a lower starting salary, knowing you'll negotiate up, but still land below what they could have paid. The fix? Always research the actual market value of something before you see its original price. The first number you see is almost never neutral. Trick 3, social proof manipulation. When you don't know what to do, you look at what other people are doing. This is called social proof, and in nature, it's smart. If everyone runs, there's probably something to run from. But today, social proof is manufactured. Fake reviews, paid followers, influencers promoting products they've never used, crowds outside restaurants that hired people to stand in line. 10 million people can't be wrong, except they absolutely can be if those 10 million people were all influenced by the same manufactured signal. The next time you feel drawn to something because it's popular, ask yourself, did real people with real experiences choose this? Or was I shown an illusion of popularity? Those are 2 completely different things. Trick number 4, the foot in the door technique. Someone asks you a small, harmless favor. You say yes. Then a bigger favor. You say yes again. Then a bigger one. And before you know it, you've agreed to something you would have immediately refused if they'd asked up front. This is the foot in the door technique. And it works because every time you say yes to something small, your brain updates its self-image. I'm the kind of person who helps this person. Once that identity is set, saying no to a bigger request feels inconsistent, almost like a betrayal of who you've decided you are. You'll find this in sales funnels, in relationships, and in workplace dynamics. The person who just needs one small thing repeatedly is often, consciously or not, walking you towards something much larger. The fix? Evaluate every request on its own merit, not on the history of small yeses that preceded it. Trick number 5, gaslighting. You remember something clearly, but someone tells you it didn't happen that way. They seem so sure, so calm, that you start to doubt yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm imagining things. This is gaslighting, one of the most damaging forms of psychological manipulation, because it doesn't attack what you think. It attacks your ability to trust your own thinking. It happens in toxic relationships, in workplaces where someone denies saying something you clearly heard, in political messaging that contradicts documented reality while insisting you're confused. The most important thing to understand about gaslighting is this: a person who genuinely made a mistake will try to understand your experience. A person who is gaslighting you will try to make you doubt your experience. That distinction is everything. Trick number 6, the reciprocity trap. Someone gives you something, a gift, a favor, a compliment you didn't ask for. And suddenly, you feel an invisible pressure to give something back. This is reciprocity, one of the deepest social instincts humans have. In healthy relationships, it builds trust and cooperation. But in manipulation, it's used as a weapon. Free samples in supermarkets, unsolicited gifts before a sales pitch, a colleague who does you a favor right before asking for something significant in return. They're all activating the same psychological mechanism. I gave you something. Now you owe me. The fix: receiving something doesn't automatically create a debt. You are allowed to accept kindness without feeling obligated to return it, especially when that kindness arrived with an agenda attached. Trick number 7, intermittent reinforcement. This is the most powerful trick on this list, and the most dangerous. Intermittent reinforcement is what happens when reward and punishment are delivered unpredictably. Sometimes you get warmth, sometimes you get coldness, sometimes approval, sometimes silence, and you never know which one is coming. This unpredictability doesn't push people away. It creates obsession. Your brain releases more dopamine chasing an unpredictable reward than a guaranteed one. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive, and it's what keeps people locked in toxic relationships, addicted to social media notifications, and unable to walk away from situations that hurt them, because the occasional good moment feels so much more powerful than the consistent bad ones. Once you understand intermittent reinforcement, you'll see it everywhere, and you'll finally understand why just leaving is so much harder than it sounds. 7 tricks, all of them real, all of them happening to you right now in ways you may never have noticed before today. The goal of understanding dark psychology isn't to become paranoid, it's to become aware. Because awareness is the only thing that stands between you and being led somewhere you never chose to go. Which one of these 7 hit closest to home? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this changed the way you see the world even slightly, subscribe to Unhook. Every week we pull back the curtain on the hidden psychology shaping your thoughts, your decisions, and your life. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Follow Unhook. We unveil the mind, one truth at a time.